I'm overwhelmed. I was pleased to know that I could make some comments because this is obviously a place that's near and dear to my heart. So first of all, I'd like to say thank you to the Wisconsin Lakes Board and the partnership staff for honoring me in this way, and thanks to those who supported my nomination. Obviously, this is an incredible honor. Although the award is a citizen award, we all know that individuals rarely, if ever, achieve success in endeavors without a network of support. Those who provide opportunities for each of us to grow. Uh-oh. What did I do? Am I quite, you can hear me? Okay. Those who encourage us to pursue our new ideas and projects, and who willingly and enthusiastically jump on board, adding their own energy and expertise to the effort at hand, and those who, in fact, invite us into their collaborations to achieve even greater goals, and those, in the end, who pick us up when snags and hurdles arise, as surely they will. For me, this valued network has included colleagues at the DNR, UW Extension Lakes, and the Bayfield County Land and Water Conservation Department, the members of the Wisconsin Lakes and BCLF boards, those who volunteer on our small but very active Bayfield County Citizens Lake Advocacy Group, some of whom are sitting at my table, and especially my lake mates at Boney Lake. Without folks like these, I certainly wouldn't be standing here at the podium, and collaborating with them has in fact enriched my life in ways I can only imagine. I also want to thank and introduce two of the loves of my life who are here with me tonight. One of my daughters, Leanne Karras, and her son, Wes, my only grandchild, and my favorite international traveling buddy. Family members have been my cheerleaders and my sounding board. They have, in fact, kept me grounded, have made my life more joyful. I am sure we all, in fact, work with hope that our great, great, great grandkids will be able to enjoy the fruits of our conservation efforts, and more importantly, that they in turn will become the dedicated stewards of our lakes and rivers. If we each reflect on how we became stewards, then perhaps we can increase the likelihood that today's young people will in fact join us in our efforts. Each of us can tell stories of our early experiences in nature, those that laid the foundation for our own love of the lakes. I have my parents to thank for what they have meant to me. They have allowed me, in my very earliest years, to play at the lake for endless, endless hours. And I'm sure you've had the same experiences. Spent hours catching frogs, so abundant that you had to watch where you stepped. Collecting piles of clams in the shallows so that in the morning we could look for the tracks they left in the sand. Learning to drive the 5-horsepower Johnson motor on the back of our little 4-seater boat that came with our resort cottage. And of course, the hours and hours of fishing with Mom, Dad, my brother Bob, and our dog Scrappy. Our night trips were a true adventure. Pillows were a must, so we could fall asleep under the stars in the bottom of the boat. Although I know my dad, who passed away 35 years ago after spending 45 years on our dear Boney Lake, I know he'd be sad to see that you can't drink the lake water any longer. And the frogs are few and far between. And the clams are all but gone. And that fishing is not like it used to be anymore. I also know, however, that he would be the first in line to thank us for our efforts to turn things around, and thrilled to see the positive changes that are occurring on lakes across our state. It is true, we can love our lakes to death, but it's also true that we now have the science and the understanding and experience to understand that lakes are a diverse and very complex and often fragile natural system, and an appreciation that restoring them to good health after they have been found to be in poor health is much more difficult and much more costly than if we maintain and protect them when they are still in good health. Changes in our lakes and lake shores often occur so gradually that they aren't necessarily even obvious to a single generation. Negative impacts are cumulative in their effects and seemingly very small changes. 20 feet of shoreline here, 20 feet of shoreline there. And before you know it, a soon degraded environment becomes accepted as the new norm, and a new generation picks up from there. But it isn't inevitable, and we can make a difference. Fortunately, positive impacts are also cumulative. The small shoreline restorations, the small changes in behavior and use patterns, the improvements in upland drainage and nearshore habitats that each of us make can and do add up toward restoring the health of our lake ecosystems. I really like the image of the pebble in the pond analogy. The ripples that each of us make when we take the restoration plunge can expand the sphere of our influence and increase the likelihood that those around us will in fact perhaps join us in the pond. While making big waves on lakes can have lasting negative effects on our shorelines, making waves to stir the pot and get people moving is a good thing. After all, none of us really enjoy a stagnant pond, do we? And lastly, when it comes to creating the next generation of stewards, use your personal journey to guide you. Find ways to immerse young people in early, joyful experiences in nature. Engage them in meaningful, hands-on, real-life activities. Empower them to speak out and to share their knowledge and their passion with real audiences, including the local, state, and national decision makers. And most of all, inspire them to cherish the natural environment and advocate for its long, healthy life. As Margaret Mead once said, never doubt that a small group of thoughtful, committed citizens can change the world. Indeed, it's the only thing that ever has. I wish you good luck in all of your important work, and I thank you again for this incredible honor. Thank you.